AC Delco. It's like Bob.
It's NASCAR's All-Star Night. 1 year ago, Charlotte Motor Speedway, under cover of darkness in the light of the full moon. Last lap. First, Earnhardt slides from the lead. Kyle Petty, Davey Allison. A shower of sparks, a spectacular finish. Tonight, they're back, and it promises to be one hot night. TNN Motorsports proudly presents Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night, the Winston, live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This place is packed with 140,000 fans, and they all have one question. Can anything top last year's finish? Here's Neil Bonnet.
Well, the Winston was billed as one hot night. It certainly was one hot last lap, maybe the best last lap in racing. And here are the two guys that were the principals in that and set off a lot of sparks for us. What a lap. Let's take a look at this thing, guys, and y'all talk me through it. Let's see what happened.
I can't talk too much of it. Here, isn't it? Yeah. And I was behind Earnhardt there, and Earnhardt had got a jump on us. And, you know, I followed him down and come through the trial over there and got a pretty good run on him going in one. And if you watch it right here, as we go into one, his car pushes out a little bit. And I got a pretty decent run at him and come up out of the corner there and, you know, got up beside of him, and he kept coming left. And there's Davey out there where he's supposed to be. And, you know,
I was about 5 car lengths behind him going down the back straightaway and thought, man, there's no way these guys are going to make it. We got a shot at it now.
And when he's spun, you know, I was up the racetrack trying to get down, and Davey got up under me, and here we touch a couple of times, and Davey explains this part because he don't remember.
Yeah, that's where it all goes blank right there. You know, as we come across the line, we just ran out of room, and that was all over with. But I had to ask Larry McReynolds about 4 or 5 times in the ambulance on the way to the infield care center who won the race, and he kept saying, "You did." And I say, "No way, no way." And then a few minutes later, I say, "Who won?" He'd say, "You did." "Nah, no way." The same deal over and over and over. But, you know, I remember after things settled down and the cobwebs started shaking loose, I could remember the whole deal. And as we came off of turn 4, there was that opening. Kyle's car had slid out a little bit, and I drove up alongside of him. And he did the same thing anybody should do. He just crowded me enough that we rubbed a little bit. I nudged ahead of him a little bit, and we rubbed again, and that time both of our cars separated and then came back together, and I was just far enough that it caught me in the wrong spot. It's just, that's racing sometimes.
And good racing it was. And the question was, who won? The question tonight, who will win this week in the Winston? Back to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Neil. There are a lot of race fans here. Let's meet a couple of them. From TNN's Video Morning, Katie Haas, and a fellow who's used to entertaining. Tonight, he's going to be entertained. Country singing great, Ricky Van Shelton.
Yes, indeed, Mike. We are right down here in the thick of it, in the pits. And Ricky Van, I tell you what, you usually put on a great show, but tonight I think you are going to see one great show.
Yeah, I'm going to be entertained tonight. And I tell you what, I've been hanging around here for 2 days and back in the pits and giving pointers to all the drivers and mechanics. And they've been showing me the cars, and I've been visiting some of the drivers' buses. And we've been having a real big time, and I guarantee it's going to be an entertaining race today.
You know, Ricky Van's been a racing fan for a long time, and tonight he's going to sing the national anthem and be right here in the thick of it. And you just better get ready. Gather family and friends around for the Winstons coming up live on TNN.
Motorsports' exclusive live presentation of the Winston is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. And by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Set for a big night of racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as the sun grows low in the west. Baseball's all-star game plays a regular 9-inning format. You might imagine in stock car racing we do it a little differently. Hi everybody and welcome to Charlotte. I'm Mike Joy. The format for this race is unlike anything else in stock car racing. For the Winston, they'll run 30 laps, take a 10-minute intermission, run 30 more, take a 10-minute break, and then run a final 10-lap shootout. And that's where all the action seems to happen. I'm a little skeptical if we can top last year's finish, but the man who sits next to me has won a bunch of times here at Charlotte. Big Buddy Baker, what do you think?
Well, I guarantee you we're going to have a better show than last year. Same drivers, tons of money to be won in the Winston, but I think One of the guys out of the Winston Open stands a real good chance. I'm picking Jeff Gordon to win it all.
The Open and the Winston. Wow. Well, let's meet the man, the fleet rookie, that in qualifying has put his car on the pole for this preliminary race that will transfer 5 drivers into the All-Star event. It's the Winston Open, and they're lined up in the garage area. Glenn Jarrett is with the pole sitter.
Well, Mike, last year may have been one hot night. This is one hot rookie. This guy has turned stock car racing on its ear. Jeff Gordon got one of the fastest cars here this week. This is your first Winston. You'd really love to qualify for that Winston by winning this Winston Open, wouldn't you?
Oh, we sure would. You know, it only takes the top 5, but we sure would like to go out there and win it. Car's running real good tonight. Let's just see what happens, but we're going to try to hang loose, run our own race, and learn a lot from this race, and hopefully travel it over to the Winston and see if we can have something for him then.
Well, best of luck to you. Know that he's won the last 2 races that he's run here, so buddy, your money may be safe betting on Jeff Gordon. Good luck, Jeff. Now let's go a little further back in the pack to Randy Pemberton. He's talking to somebody else who wants to qualify tonight.
Well, Kenny Schrader is way deep in the pack, 24th. I know you had a little tough qualifying run, and you've been in the Winston for years and years. All of a sudden, you're here in the Winston Open, but you got a smile on your face for one reason. Why is that?
Well, the car was running real good. That's why I got in this trouble. We were trying to get one of those laps to start us up in the front row there, and kind of got away from me. We got to gather back up, and we'll start 24th. And if you can't get through this race, you didn't belong in the Winston anyway.
Well, he's also got a chance to pick up a little extra cash before getting into the Winston. Good luck, Kenny. Glenn Jarrett, who you got up there?
Well, right now I've got the defending champion of the Winston Open. In fact, he's won the last 2. You've got a knack for getting into Winston in this thing. Mike, how's it look tonight?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of confusing. You practice in the day and then you race at night, so makes it tough. But the Pennzoil Pontiac was running well this afternoon. We've had luck in this race, won it twice in a row, and I want to be in the Winston in the worst way. Only problem is about 15 other guys that do, so it could get a little excited. I want to say hi to Jim Pate down in Texas from Pennzoil watching us tonight. We'll do good for you, Jim.
Well, you always do well here. What's the secret? Do you like the pressure of running the Open and qualifying that way?
Well, I don't like it, but I don't have any choice. I want to be in the Winston, and this is the route that we have to take to get here. You know, we've almost won a couple races in Winston Cup, but hadn't done it yet, so we're in the Open. Charlotte has always been a good track for me. It's real temperamental. You have to have a good setup here, and we've always seemed to get one here. And that's what will pay off tonight if you can handle through these corners.
Well, he'll get a handle on it. You can rest assured. Good luck to you, Mike. Now let's go back to Randy Pemberton.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy, he's ready to go here. Rick Wilson standing by the STP Pontiac, helping him pushing out onto the grid with a smile on your face. You had a good qualifying run.
Yeah, we did. You know, the STP Pontiac run real good, and we're excited about the night. We got a 50 lap where we got to get through so we can get into Winston. That's what we're looking at.
Okay, what about if you do get into the Winston? Now, think you can go on and win it?
Well, you know, you got 50 laps under your belt already, and if your car is not exactly right, you know, you can adjust on it. Where the guys going into Winston, you know, they gotta go with what they got. So, and you're already green-eyed by then if you get in there. So, I believe a guy coming out of the Winston Open's got just as good a shot at winning as anybody.
Okay, good luck tonight. Well, Kenny, Rick Wilson ran very well in the last practice session here, but there are 5 guys that are going to make it into the Winston. We'll see in just a moment when we have the green flag.
Cars on pit road for the Winston Open. You've met the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. Let's go to the outside pole. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, Brett Bonine, I know you would love to get into the Winston. You've been in it once. What about your strategy, and how do you feel about your car going in?
Well, we feel real good about the race car. We worked real hard on it today, and think we've got something that's going to be able to get us in there. You know, having 5 spots, you know, usually you got to go out there and try to win the thing. And sure, we'd like to win it, but you got to be smart. The big show's later on, and that's what we're here to try to do, get into that big show. I feel like our strategy is going to be, you got to take care of the tires. We're seeing a little bit of tire drop off, the speed's dropping off, so you know, we might see a little conservative run in the beginning to make sure we don't use up the tires.
Okay, good luck today.
Thank you.
There you see the starting grid for the Winston Open. A bunch of well-wishers and pit crews trying to get things squared away here. This has been a fun, festive evening because there's nothing at stake here as far as points or season champions concerned. This is just for pride and, of course, some money. Glenn?
Well, Mike, a lot of pride on here. Hut Strickland starting back in 19th spot. He was one of the 2 drivers that qualified in last year's Winston Open. Hut, you got a long way to go, only 50 laps to get there.
Well, we certainly do. You know, we had a little bit of problems in qualifying the other day in this McDonald's Ford thing. Got real loose with me, and, you know, we were just going for the gusto, and, you know, one of those things happened. But, you know, we feel like the car's running real good, and we feel like we got an awful good shot at him.
Well, you're going to have to put a hard charge on it. You don't have much waiting time.
Well, I tell you what, when you're starting this far back and a race this short, you're definitely going to have to do it in a hurry. And we feel like we made some gains right here, last practice, and we feel like we're very capable of getting to the front.
If anybody can do it from back here, that Strickland can, Mike.
Lynn, I know how he feels. It's like being 20th in line at the drive-in window. But we're about set to go with the Winston Open. 5 drivers, the first 5 finishers, will cross over into the All-Star race. The Winston, tonight live on TNN. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Long shadows over Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. You still see a lot of sunlight glinting off the condominiums there down in turn number 1. We're about 45 minutes from complete darkness here. We've already had some great racing. The Little Dwarf Legends cars and the NASCAR Sportsman cars ran nearly caution-free in their 100-mile event. More on that later on. But now, the Winston Open is set to get fired off. Sears Diehard, with more power when you need it most, presents the starting grid for the Winston Open. Jeff Gordon won both Busch races here last year. He's on the pole. Brett Bodine finished second in this race in 1989. Rick Mast ran 4th in the Open 2 years ago. Rick Wilson, 8th last week at Sears Point. Row 3, Mike Walter won this event the last 2 years. Back-to-back winner Sterling Marlin. Bill Parsons, his first run in the Open since '87, and Derek Cope, a former Daytona winner. Jimmy Spencer, runner-up at Talladega this month, and Bobby Labonte, the former Busch Series champion. In row 6, Wally Dallenbach finished 7th at Sears Point, and Ted Musgrave makes his second Open start. Greg Sachs, 3rd here a year ago. Lake Speed, runner-up in '87. Bobby Hillin Jr., former winner at Talladega, and Rich Bickle, top driver at nearby Concord Speedway. Kenny Wallace, one of the top rookie crop, and Dave Marcus, the veteran. Hut Strickland, 2nd last year, and Jimmy Horton, his 5th appearance. Dick Trickle won this race 3 years ago, and P.J. Parnelli Jones Jr. in the Harry Melling car. Row 12, John Krebs from the Winston West Series, and Ken Schrader had trouble in qualifying. He's way back in 24. T.W. Taylor from the Sportsman Division, and veteran independent Jimmy Means. Jerry O'Neill entering his 4th Winston Open, and Johnny Chapman, a rookie. Former ARCA champ Bill Venturini has scratched Norm Benning from Pennsylvania. James Hilton, who won Talladega in '72, and Jerry Hill, his first Charlotte start. Chad Little, new race team for Redskin quarterback Mark Rippon, will start last. 33 cars scheduled to take the green. There are 32 lined up. Bill Venturini crashed this afternoon in practice, transported to Cabarrus Memorial Hospital where x-rays prove negative. Car's torn up. He will not start the race tonight. Charlotte Motor Speedway is a unique facility. It's 1.5 miles around, not a tri-oval like Daytona or Talladega. 2 dog legs. It's a quad oval, they call it. Turns are banked 24 degrees. 5-degree banking to the straights for drainage. Front stretch, nearly 2,000 feet. The back stretch much shorter. Of course, the front stretch includes that double dog leg you see as you look at turn number 1. Half of this facility is in Concord, North Carolina, but the office is in Harrisburg, right next door. $193,000, the potential awards in the Winston Open. They'll go 50 laps. Dick Trickle holds the race record set 3 years ago. Well, 50 laps with everything to win and not much to lose. Here's a look first at the weather. 71 degrees, low humidity, wind out of the north. Supposed to get down to about 52 tonight, but clear. No chance of rain. Well, Neil Bonnet, Bloody Baker, is this a nothing held back kind of show?
Mike, I think you're going to see everybody just go for broke because, like you say, they've got to finish in the top 5 to even get in the race. And that weather forecast you just gave is critical. These guys are guessing right now with the temperature coming down, how to set these cars up. It's going to be just all out for 50 laps.
Well, I can tell you, 5 open spots to get into the Winston. These guys have a special incentive. I think it's going to be one of the wildest races we've watched in a long time.
Well, you'll not only be watching, you'll be riding along in the DuPont Chevrolet out of the Hendrick Motorsports stable. Jeff Gordon, his face cam mounted on the right windowsill. And he'll have a roof cam looking, he hopes, back at the competition. Out the back, that's Rick Mast just behind him as he starts up there alongside of Brett Bodine. That's James Harvey Hilton, 1972 Talladega winner, getting little push shove and a start. James going to have to come from deep in the field to try to qualify for the All-Star race tonight. New sponsor for Hilton Dial Pay. Nice to see that car filled up with lettering.
Mike, you were talking about Jeff Gordon sitting on the pole. We're talking about taking you for a fast ride with his cameras. He's in the Winston Open, but his car was fast as any car in the Winston. He's had the fastest car here all week in practice, so he's certainly got a car getting the job done right here.
Gordon, you remember, had a shot to win the Daytona 500. Impressive feat for a rookie. Of course, he set an all-time record for Busch Series poles last year before moving up to the senior circuit of stock car racing. Oldsmobile safety car leads them around in this field. 18 Fords, 9 Chevrolets, 4 Pontiacs, 1 Oldsmobile. That's Norm Benning out of Pennsylvania.
Got some good quality cars in this race. Some of the guys that win regularly on the circuit in the past are in this race, so this is a good car trying to come to the front.
1 lap they'll be racing.
You know, last night Rick Wilson was one of the fastest cars also in the Petty entry, so it's going to be interesting.
He and Jeff Gordon hooked up in drafting for about 10 or 12 laps, one in front, one in back, and then they switched it off. And they were one of the quickest combinations of any cars in this field. Brett Bodine thought he had a strong shot at the pole, just narrowly missed it before he qualified. Now the man deep in the field to watch will be Kenny Schrader, coming up here on the outside of row number 12 in a white and green Kodiak Chevrolet. There he is. Schrader had a shot at the pole, but going into turn number 1, put the left front wheel down on the flat, down on the track apron, and we thought he was going for the wall.
Anybody that didn't have the experience he had would have lost the car. I mean, it made a right turn.
Schrader saved it, and he will start 24th. We'll keep an eye on it. This place is packed. The backstretch grandstand, a few seats in the bottom rows, but the front stretch side is filled to capacity. The suites, the Speedway Club, this is the race everybody wants to be at.
And the garage.
Yes.
The garage is full today.
The memory of last year's finish, all too fresh. It wasn't just the finish, it was a great night of racing. And it begins right here with the Winston Open. 50 laps. Green flag. Jeff Gordon barely the gearbox. Now as they hit top gear, Brett Bodine is going to drop in, and they'll have a 2-car length margin on the rest of the field.
They would like to have that all night. There are a couple of guys who like to get away from this pack. They're going to transfer 5 cars. You'll see these guys try to work and get away.
Our aerial helicopter camera will give you some play-by-play shots tonight, courtesy of the folks at Ray Vestas. Here they come to complete lap number 1. Now you see how this is a quad oval. There's the first dogleg, little short straightaway here at the start-finish line. There's the second. And Jeff Gordon leads this field.
Mike, you see the first 5 cars there in line. There's a lot of drafting on this racetrack. You run fast enough to really feel the draft here. When these guys running single file, these other cars running side by side, they'll drop back even more together.
Full speed for this race, 178 miles per hour. We're watching Bodine second, Mast third, and Rick Wilson in the 44 of the Petty car, 4th. A little further back in the field, that's Ted Musgrave up high in the U.S. Air Ford, and Wally Dunlap.
We've got 3 breaths through this tri-oval. Watch, they come through here. They've got to get sorted out, at least 2 wide. There they go. They got back in line as they go down to the corner.
Man on the inside was Lake Speed, that blue car, 83. Speed had a lot of speed in practice yesterday.
Ted Musgrave, we saw get caught on the outside. He's still on the outside lane in the 55 car. It's Bobby Hillen in the 90 right under. The cars really drift up right there, buddy. They almost get together. We see Musgrave really moved him up high on the track.
Yeah, the groove's not up where he was at. I promise you, he wanted to get down in a hurry.
Ken Schrader has moved to 18th. Started 24th.
Yeah, Schrader's not going to have the luxury of taking it easy. This short a race, he's really going to have to be on the roll, and he is. We see him in this shot right here on the outside, passing Kenny Wallace as we go into 3rd turn.
That's Greg Sachs there, leading Lake Speed through the corner there. Greg's been running super good through practice also.
Donald back to the center. Greg Sachs, Lake Speed. Bobby Labonte, the Max. There's Hillen. And there's Schrader in that picture to the right side. Right there with Ted Musgrave. Here comes Schrader.
You know, Schrader doesn't need to run up on 2 cars side by side because he'll have to follow for a while. He's going to want one of these cars to go ahead and clear. We see Hunt go by. Watch Schrader jump down in the bottom.
Ken Schrader moving up. Meanwhile, lead battle is tightened up. Jeff Gordon in 24, the DuPont car. The Quaker State 4. That's Brett Bodine, 26. And Rick Bass, the number 1. Skoll Chevrolet.
You know, Neil, if they're smart, they'll stay in line like that because they're actually breaking the draft on the cars behind them.
Yeah, they'll stay in line right to the last few laps, and then it's going to get exciting. But I don't, you know, we heard him talking about the tire speed falling off a little bit. These guys are going to have to be careful of their pace, or they'll kill the tires, and they'll lose some speed. So they're going to have to pace themselves a little bit, and the other pack can't catch them.
Right, there's every possibility this race will go 50 laps under green. No pit stops, no caution flags. 5 drivers transfer into the Winston, the All-Star race tonight. Right now, the man on the bubble in that 5th spot is Michael Waltrip. Looking at the leaders, Schrader has moved from 24th to 14th position.
He's picking them off just about one. He comes about 1 car lap on the deal.
And here's Schrader underneath rookie Bobby Labonte in the Bill Davis Maxwell House Ford. Hut Strickland, the red car, the McDonald's car, trying to move up. 13th spot for Schrader. He needs 8 more.
You see Hut Strickland make the same move to get under Labonte when Schrader got him out there on the outside.
5 drivers will transfer. 43 laps to go. Schrader could have sat on the pole. Had a front row quality car. Almost lost it into the wall in qualifying.
Well, Mike, that's what he was doing. He was going for the pole. And as they go in the first turn, you can see the white line as these guys turn off in here. White line unless Schrader actually got the wheels below that, as you said, trying to get a quick lap in. It shot him up the racetrack. And like Buddy was talking about, he did an excellent job of staying out of the wall.
That's Labonte moving up, and he's got Greg Sachs behind him. That bright yellow Maxwell House car, Jimmy Spencer on the outside, number 12.
Yeah, I noticed Jimmy's moving up on the racetrack. I think he's got a lot of push in that car. Maybe it'll pay off later on, but right now he's having trouble staying on the bottom of the racetrack.
Sorry, I said Labonte, that's late speed. In 83, with his crew. Well, he's got a good car in practice. Didn't qualify too well. He was 14th in qualifying.
Buddy was talking about pushing these race cars. I heard a lot of the crew chiefs questioning, is it going to get tighter? Is it going to get looser? Boy, if you got to turn 4, there's with a 44 car. Rick Wilson right up against the wall. Almost got in the wall. Lost a lot of ground on the racetrack.
He had a little help, maybe, Neil. I think he and Sterling Marlin got together going into 3. Sterling was on the low side, went on by, and Rick had to get way out of it. Keep it away from the wall. He's battling Wally Dolleback now, and here comes Lake Speed. Let's have another look at what happened up there in turn 3.
Okay, he looks like he's just coming through the corner perfectly well. Lake comes up behind him.
This is live action. Now let's see it. Let's have a look at it.
I think this is now.
This was then. Okay, there's Sterling Marlin underneath Rick Wilson.
Rick, the back end broke loose on the car. He ran up, almost got into him.
Okay, what he did there, he went down in the corner too hard, and he's gaining on the car in front of him. He slammed the brakes on it, transferred all the weight to the front of the car, and made the back end extremely loose.
I can't help but think he's also dealing with a loose condition, too. He's losing so much ground right now. When he gets around somebody, the back end's trying to get out from under him with the car. So he was exceptionally quick in practice, but the car might be getting a little bit loose with him.
2 cars are backing up pretty badly in the field. Rick Wilson is one of them. The other is Hut Strickland. Wilson's followed from 6th to 10th. Jeff Gordon's your leader. Brett Bodine is 2nd. Rick Mast is 3rd. Mike Waltrip's up to 4th. And Sterling Marlin is right now in the final transfer spot, 5th. Derek Cope is 6th.
Wow, look at this shot. You talk about a car moving along.
Back past James Hilt. Just taking little bites out of the wheel, buddy.
Man, I tell you, that makes you homesick there. I'd like to do that again for a little while anyhow.
That's the good part that makes you homesick. Look out the rearview mirror and see if all of them chases you. You never get under those conditions again.
4th place. Sterling Marlin, the revested Ford of the Stavola brothers, going to move underneath Mike Waltrip, the Pennzoil Pontiac. That's 4th place, and it puts Waltrip on the bubble. He's got a good history of qualifying for the Winston through the Open.
Yeah, and every one of these Winston Opens, Michael's really had a good race car. They haven't had the speed they wanted all week long. I felt like in the race his car would be good, but it looks like he's losing a little bit of ground here.
Derek Cope, one spot away. Marlin up to fourth. Blue and white board. The yellow car is Mike Waltrip, fifth. Back up front, Brett Bodine has closed the gap as they lap past Norm Benning of Pennsylvania.
You know, Jeff and Brett are moving away from the field because they're not racing each other. They're staying in a tight draft, and most of the other cars are trying to run by themselves. I noticed the one car, Rick Mass, he's dropping back quite a bit, but he don't have any help.
Let's go to the Jeff Gordon pit. Here's Randy.
Well, possibly a little bad news for everybody else. Speaking about Jeff Gordon, he came over the radio talking to his crew chief. Ray Abraham said the car is a little loose right now, but as the race goes on, I think it'll get a little better. So as good as Jeff's running, he thinks the car's going to get better.
If it gets too much better. One car, a lot of smoke out of turn 4. Greg Sachs, the Country Time Ford. I'm from the right front, huh?
Looks like the right front wheel area is where the smoke's from. I don't know if he touched somebody, got a wheel rubbing, or maybe a wheel bearing or something in the car, but a lot of smoke off the right front wheel.
I can tell you one thing, he won't be up there very long with that much smoke coming off the right front, will he, Neil?
Now, if it's rubbing a tire or something, it'll blow in just a few laps.
Spotters will see that come up on the road. Here's Sachs come around one more time. No trace of that smoke this time.
You know, the only thing I could think for it to go away would be a brake. Maybe he got on the brake and blew an O-ring out of the right front caliper, dumped some fluid out on it because it's gone away now.
Do you use a lot of brake here?
You don't want to, but sometimes you have to. If you get up in that loose stuff, and that's the only way to slow it down, you better use it.
You drive so hard off in the corner here, just like we saw the 44 car run up on someone a while ago. You make a commitment diving in, and if you have to jab the brakes on. There's Schrader, he's really coming by the 44 on the inside.
Look how close to the bottom of the racetrack he was running in the middle of the corner there. That car is handling super good.
Ken Schrader up to 11th place. He started 24th. 18 of 50 laps complete. And up front it's still Jeff Gordon. There's the margin, first to second. Brett Bodine in second place. In third, Rick Mass. Fourth, Sterling Marlin. Fifth is Michael Waltrip. Derek Cope is one spot away. Then Wally Dallenbach, Lake Speed. We'll be right back. You're riding with the leader, Jeff Gordon. We are 21 laps into the Winston Open. The first 5 finishers transfer into Stock Car Racing's All-Star Tilt tonight, live on TNN. A lot of smoke out of car number 63, Norm Benning. Looks like he will call it a night. Gordon, your leader. Bodine in second. That's Brett Bodine, Rick Mass, Sterling Marlin, and Mike Waltrip on the bubble. Ahead of Derek Cope, Lake Speed, Wally Dallenbach, Bill Parsons, and now up to 10th place, Ken Schrader. This car is on rail.
Yeah, when we saw Gordon working the steering wheel just a minute ago, there goes real loose right there. I just hit the wall. Oh. When he was jerking the wheel, I was going to say it looked like he had a loose condition and tried to catch the car continuously through the corner. We were watching him in. He drove off in the corner and the back end just came out from under the car. Looks to climb out of it. He's okay.
Awesome flight. Brett Bodine picks up the lead. Well, if he was on rails, that's yesterday's train coming in.
Yep, there he goes. He's called on the radio on the steering wheel, so he's okay.
The Simpson gloves, full fire suit, all that Butler built, seating equipment in that car, release steering wheel, all of it now with no further use.
And one angry young man, I guarantee you, because he had everything going. He just can't make little errors. You know, he was running really good.
Let's show you what happened to our race leader, the man who led every one of the first 22 laps.
Well, he goes down in the corner just like every other lap. The car actually braked loose before he ever got into the corner. Did you notice that, Neil?
Yeah, looked like the back end came in. I think he had called him and told him he had a loose condition, and it must have get worse instead of better. You know, I was concerned myself when he said it's going to get better. Usually a loose condition gets to be a good bit of a handful before the race is over, but it looked like it just broke loose under him.
Let's have it from another angle.
Okay, he's already got the wheels cut before he gets in the corner there, so it was loose going down into the corner. That's definitely a loose condition for some reason.
You know, we saw the tires. We had a good shot. All 4 wheels still had air in them when they first turned off in. There's no doubt they're flat now because he's sliding on those things, blowing them out. But it looked like when he turned around, he had air in it. Maybe the right rear was low.
Yeah, I wonder if that right rear was down before he got up in the wall. We'll find out later. Here's Ken Schrader, who had moved up to 10th place, getting 4 tires. as are most of the leaders. Brett Bodine, there's the right side's done. Kenny Bernstein crew comes around to the left side. Big chassis change on Rick Mast's car right behind Bodine. And Schrader is going to follow Sterling Marlin down pit road and Brett Bodine. And he will be the third place car when we go back to green. Great pit stop for Ken Schrader. And quickly things change in the Winston Open. This exclusive live coverage of the Winston is being brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. We are under caution for Jeff Gordon's crash up in turns 3 and 4. They're cleaning that up right now. And we're going to go for a special report. Safety manufacturer Bill Simpson, former racer himself, has a condominium at the Speedway in Indianapolis. Katie?
It does feel like Indianapolis, but no, as you scan these faces up here in this suite, you're not losing your mind. We are still in Charlotte. We have with us up here, we got Jim Williams, Stan Barrett. We have, of course, Bill Simpson, the safety wear wizard. Also, Chip Ganassi is here, owner of the car on the pole for the Indy, and, of course, Danny Sullivan. Now, guys, why here? Why are you here instead of at Indy?
Well, we've all qualified. We wanted to come down and see a great show, and they said this is the place to see it.
Boy, I'm telling you, you're getting one tonight. An honest answer from an honest man. We'll watch you race next weekend. Back to Mike now.
Thanks, Katie. We are in Charlotte. Those are the Turn 1 condominiums here at the Speedway. Packed crowd. You see a few little glints of sunlight left, but pretty soon the forces of darkness will take over Charlotte Motor Speedway as they did last year. And already the leader's been snake bit. Jeff Gordon led every lap and crashed. Derek Cope did not make a pit stop, nor did T.W. Taylor, who's graduated out of NASCAR Sportsman Division here. Sterling Marlin led the parade off the pit road ahead of Brett Bodine and Ken Schrader. Let's have a look from in-car, from Jeff Gordon's car. Watch and listen. Race car and our camera. We are back to green. Taylor drops down to the low side as Derek Cope scoots away from the field. Bojangles' car out in front. Cope did not stop as the rest of the leaders came in under caution. Taylor way slow down low as is James Hilton. Blake Speed came into the pit 6th, but he came out 16th. It's a long way to go. Sterling Marlin revests his brakes forward, and look at Kenny Schrader, a great pit stop. Put Schrader up in 4th, make that 3rd place. Fresh tires mean a lot as they go by Derek Cope.
Yeah, we saw Cope stay out and get track positioning, but the new tires are worth more than track positioning in a sprint like this. And we see the yellow car of Cope falling back, and the guys that put the new tires on coming to the front.
Derek up the racetrack. Mike Watson is back into 4th. Rick Mast is 5th. And here comes the Bear.
Bear's on the move. I tell you, he runs a lot of right front spring. I know how they set this car up, and he has to run deep into the corner. So you watch him when he goes down in the corner and look again. The ground he picks up on all these cars.
Marlin, Bodine, and Schrader. Field screens into turn number 1. Let's go down to the Ken Schrader pit.
Well, Mike, I'm here in the Bears Den, and I'm standing with Ken Howe, the crew chief. What a great pit stop you guys had, and he's doing a super job on the racetrack.
Yeah. You hope for days like that everything goes right. The guys did a great job. Kenny's trying. I know he's trying.
You got that break you needed on that caution. You hate to see it happen, but still, that's what you needed, wasn't it, Ken?
Yeah, it came just the right time. We pretty much used that stuff up to get to where he did. So, yeah, that was a good break. Just cross our fingers now.
Well, I think Schrader's going to do the job, and this is an excited pit crew.
Here he comes. Looking to the low side on Brett Bodine. Not enough room that time into turn number 3.
Well, he's looked low. He hasn't been able to make the move. Schrader's not going to give up. He's got it up under and down through this double dog leg. When he comes out the second one, he should have enough bleed on him to be able to hold him off in the corner.
Well, he definitely got the preferred line. You see Brett just back off. He knows he's getting in the win. He's not going to fight anybody for position right now.
Sterling Marlin on the point. You're watching second on back. Schrader in the white car. Kodiak Chevy of Rick Hendrick. Kenny Bernstein Breaker stayed 4th, and Brett Bodine in 3rd. Mike Waltrip driving for Chuck Ryder, the Pensacola Pontiac, and Rick Bass, Skoll Chevrolet. Jimmy Horton takes his car to the garage area as we complete lap 32. 18 to go.
See Sterling leading the race. He's ran really good in these opens. He's got the car out front right now with a good pit stop.
Sterling won the Winston Open in 1988, went on to finish second in the Winston after starting 19th. So, as Buddy Baker suggested at the top of the show, it can be done.
Just a good indication of the quality of car that has to come to the Winston through the Winston Open. Good car and all the way back through the field.
Let's get down to Randy Pemberton. He's standing by with the man who was the pole sitter and led the first part of this race, Jeff Gordon.
Well, Jeff's trying to get back to his race car right now, but Jeff, did you feel anything and what happened?
No, I mean, the car was driving beautiful. It was a little bit loose, you know, off the corner, but it was fine getting in. And, you know, I mean, I probably drove in easier that time than I did any other time. And, you know, I don't know what happened. I mean, the car just started to break loose and boom, it went. Had no clue it was going to do it.
You radioed earlier that the car was loose. Did you think it was going to get better and it didn't?
Well, yeah, I thought it was going to get better, and I think it would have, but, I mean, I wasn't driving it. I kept driving it easier and easier as we went on.
Okay, well, of course, Jeff very upset. He was expecting to run that car in the 600 next week. They'll have to do a lot of work on it back at the shop.
See, at this point, that right rear tire is flat. Might it have been flat going in the corner?
Mike, all I can tell you is it looked strange. It didn't look like it was supposed to happen. And he said he was loose off the corner, and he was going in, the car was going perfect, and all of a sudden he just turned right. I don't know, maybe something broke on the car.
Man, something you got to weigh into it. This guy might be a rookie, but he's not a rookie at driving at these racetracks. I can't help but think something out of the ordinary did happen for a guy like Jeff Gordon, the car to get out from under him that quick. You know, you could see it in his face. He was puzzled what happened.
Here's our Napa Field standing update brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Here's the way they were at halfway. All right, now Sterling Marlin on the point. There's the lead he has over the Bear,
But
Kenny Schrader.
The point is narrowing down. Schrader is coming after him.
Yep.
Let me tell you, Schrader's not the kind of guy that's going to be content. Hey, I'm second. I'm going to be in the Winston. He figures if I'm first, I'll be one notch further ahead in the Winston. So if he can catch him, he's going to try to pass him, I believe.
Schrader told me something the other day. He's never finished worse than fourth in the Winston. I guarantee you he's going to be a factor.
He said, didn't he tell you he could win more money than anybody by having to run in the Open and transfer up?
He was planning on it.
Hey, wait a minute. I saw that qualifying lap. He didn't plan on that.
No, sir. No.
He flirted with the old wall on that one.
You can't plan that.
Schrader's car is so good, I don't doubt that once he comes up on the 8, he might try him outside. He's looked at the outside. He might want to test that car out there to see if it can run outside for later in the night. This is also a good test session. They've actually got a better effort to prepare their car for the Winston than the other guys, because they're running under these race conditions.
That's right. These 5 drivers are no more than the 15 that are already qualified. 13 laps to go in the Winston Open. 5 drivers will transfer. We asked Dale Earnhardt if the Winston finish could be as exciting as last year.
Well, hopefully it'll be a little different scenario and I can come across first. But, you know, it's always an exciting race, and they put it in under the lights, and it really got a lot more exciting. So, yeah, I hope the excitement keeps happening here.
Open live on TNN at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Bear has come out of hibernation. As you watch from these views from the Ray Bestis camera in our chopper. Ray Bestis, the best in brakes, giving you these views. That's the separation. Kenny Schrader back to Sterling Marlin. Schrader came from 24th to the lead in 39 laps. Nobody has yet won the Open from further back than 11th starting spot. Sterling did that in 1988.
He did it in 2 ways. He ran exceptionally well on the track when the race first started and moved up, and then his victory pulled off a great stop, and then Schrader had 3 cars left to pass. So good team effort to get the car up front.
The Bear is hungry.
He better go on and stay hungry, because he could get out of there in a hurry.
Well, here's Rick Wilson back in 11th spot. Battling Rick second. Remember, only 5 cars transfer, and right now, that would be Schrader, Sterling Marlin, Brett Bodine, and trouble a car hard in the wall coming out of turn number 4.
Dave Marcus. Well, I saw Marcus look like he broke loose going down in turn 3. Really got in the wall hard.
Tremendous amount of damage. In front of that car, Pronto Auto Parts signed on with him for this race.
Well, I tell you, the corner speed is so strong at this racetrack. You're going so fast in the corner, when something happens, I mean, you're going to slap the wall pretty good lick.
Let's have another look and see what happened as we're under caution with 5 laps to go.
See Marcus run up. It's almost another set of circumstances like before, buddy. He runs up on him.
That car just turned right there, and then it got loose. And up in the... Wow.
Oh, man, he folded right, run up on the car.
Okay, what happened there? He turned it. It got loose. He had the wheels cut to the right, and they took a set. And back towards the wall he went.
It's hard to make these cars turn left, but they will turn right. Once you crank it to the right a little bit to overcorrect the car, it's going to go up there.
There's the aftermath.
Man, that's cubic dollars you see when you see that fire flying out of the back.
Oh, yes.
Now, it'd be nice if he had 10 or 12 cars in the shop and could afford that wreck, but he can't.
It's tough on the independents.
We'll be back with more of the Winston Open after this. 3 laps to go. Sterling Marlin takes the lead on the restart. We're going to watch 5th as well. That's the last transfer spot. Rick Mast has it. And Phil Parsons has passed Wally Dallenbach to want it. 2 to go.
Well, Schrader got a pretty good start on the restart. And the 8 car of Sterling Marlin just drove under him up off turn 2. Schrader taking a look now.
All right, Derek Cope and Brett Saxon, they stopped the tires under caution. They're out of it. Rick Mast in 5th. He's got 4 car lengths on Phil Parsons trying to close in. There are the front 4. Marlin, Schrader, Bodine, Mike Waltrip, and Rick Mast. White flag. Here comes Parsons in that yellow car, the Mannheim Auctions car, trying to pull up on Rick Mast. At 6th place, Parsons, and 7th, Dallenbach. Last lap. The black car is in the last qualified spot. That's the one that counts. Winning here just means you transfer on. It is Marlin coming off the corner. Schrader with him. Bodine 3rd. Mike Waltrip and Rick Mast is going to hang on. He will be 5th. Transfer on to the Winston. It's the 3rd victory in the Winston Open for Sterling Marlin. He and Mike Waltrip have had a stranglehold on this race. Schrader pulls up alongside.
You know, even though Schrader didn't win the race, you can bet he learned a lot when he goes in now. This is where it's key to running this race. Now these guys, if the 5 are going to transfer, really got a feel for the racetrack. Go back and make some adjustments.
5 drivers will move on to the Winston. Sterling Marlin, Ken Schrader, Brett Bodine, Mike Waltrip, and Rick Mast. Phil Parsons will be the first alternate, then Wally Dallenbach. More of Stock Car Racing's All-Star Evening coming up. He, Ken Schrader, Brett Bodine, and Mike Waltrip have all been in the Winston before. It'll be the first time in the All-Star event for Rick Mast, who finished 5th tonight. A look at Charlotte Motor Speedway as darkness descends. Gets a little dark here, and those 1.5 million candle power of Musco lights begin to illuminate the speedway. And up in turn number 4, high atop that grandstand where the lights are lined up, are the Winston Cup spotters, and who's that in the midst of them? Katie Hahn.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, I used to be a spotter back home at a local track in Nashville, but nothing to the magnitude of what we have up here atop Charlotte. These guys right here, when the flag is green, that's all they're looking at is one car. They're not going to pay attention to anything else. The spotters look ahead for the driver. They look outside in as the driver looks inside out. They let the driver know what groove other cars are running, what he should be running, when it's safe to pass. Various other things that the driver cannot tell. These spotters are the ones to let them know. It's a very important mission that they have up here, and they take it very, very seriously. So I don't think that they could drive without these spotters.
Now, Katie, did you give your driver race strategy when you were a spotter?
I did, from standing on top of a little dinky enclosed trailer from the one turn that I could see, yes.
Yeah, race strategy. Here's the wreck. Oops, you're in it.
Yeah, that's it, Mike.
It's gotten a little more sophisticated now. Let's go to Victory Lane. Glenn Jarrett's there.
And we're standing by with Sterling Marlin. He's without his race car here, but the Ray Bestis Ford performed flawlessly. You got a break there and got back in on that restart.
Yeah, it didn't look like he cleaned his tires off good, and he wiggled down there in the corner, and I got up under him, and he got loose and got by. He's going to be tough in the Winston, and I think we are too. So we worked off hard, and I'm proud for the crew, proud for Ray Bestis, and we're going to come back and try to win this thing.
What is it about Sterling Marlin in this race? It's 3 times now.
I don't know. We always was clocking cars this evening. The Winston Open cars are as fast as, or faster than the Winston cars. So it's a tough race, and we're going to be after this Winston race.
Well, again, congratulations. Good luck in the Winston. Now let's go to Randy with the guy that just squeezed in.
Well, Rick Mast sitting here. It's very, very hot in this car, and I know it was a little hotter because you had a little push, but you made it.
Yeah, we lucked out and made it to the end. You know, the guys were walling. These guys were really dogging on me pretty hard. But, you know, our car was good in the daytime, and last night we kind of went to junk. Today we were good in the daytime. We didn't know what to expect tonight. I think now we got a better handle on it. We got guys changing springs, we're changing rubbers, we're changing track bars, doing everything to try to get this car better for the Winston.
Wow, well, there's where it could be an advantage to be in the Winston Open. Rick Mast, the crew all over the car, they're going to change a few things. Heck, he could be good enough to win in the Winston.
What do you think, buddy? Would you like to have the chance to run 50 laps here before you have to go for all that money?
Oh, it's definitely, you know, Neil already pointed that out. This is very important. These guys actually have a little bit of an edge on the guys that hadn't run today in a competitive race. So they do. You heard him say he's changing everything but the driver in the car.
That's true. Well, of the drivers that qualified for the Winston by winning recent events on the Winston Cup Tour, they had a unique qualifying procedure. 3 consecutive laps with a pit stop in the middle. So fittingly, the man who won the pole did it with his pit crew. And here's Glenn.
Okay. Tony Glover, the crew chief of the number 4 Kodak Chevrolet, on behalf of Miller Genuine Draft, for presenting you with the Pit Crew Award for the Winston. That was a great pit stop.
I tell you, it sure was. It was a total team effort. All them boys that went across the wall did a heck of a job, and you know, the rest was up to Ernie. And you know, when you leave something like that up to him, you always know he's going to do his job. We'd like to thank Winston for putting this show on, and we'd like to thank Miller Genuine Draft for this award.
Congratulations again, and good luck in tonight's race.
Thank you very much.
Tony Glover, that pit stop really made the difference. There he goes walking off, as Sam Malone did Thursday night in the last episode of Cheers. I always thought he'd get Kirstie Alley. You know, I didn't think Shelley Long now, but I don't know. We got some predictions to make later on. That won't be one of them, right?
That's it.
Results of the Winston Open. Sterling Marlin, the winner. Ken Schrader finishing second. Brett Bodine, Mike Waltrip, and Rick Mast. They're the guys that move on to the All-Star race. Phil Parsons will be the alternate in case somebody can't start. Wally Dollenbach, Blake Speed, Bobby Hillen, and Ted Musgrave in the 10th spot. 11th went to Rick Wilson, Hut Strickland at 12th, Bobby Labonte, Dick Trickle, and Jimmy Means finishing 15th. P.J. Jones, his first ever trip to Charlotte Motor Speedway in a stock car, gave a good account of himself. Greg Sachs, John Chapman, Derek Cope made that late stop for tires, as did Sachs, then John Krebs in 20th spot. T.W. Taylor up in the sportsman division, rookie Kenny Wallace, Rich Bickle, James Hilton, and Dave Marcus ending up in the fence. Followed by Jimmy Spencer, who made a pit stop under green, Chad Little, Jerry O'Neill, Jimmy Horton, and Jeff Gordon, who had the pole in the early race lead but wandered into the wall. At about lap 22, Norm Benning and Jerry Hill. Well, the bear is awake and he's hungry. Kenny Schrader's down there getting ready to go into the win.
Well, Mike, he's still hungry. Ken, you had him covered. What happened on that restart?
Driver error again. Same reason we had to start in the back with the thing to start with. I didn't keep my right front tire cleaned out good. I went down into one. Scooted up track a little bit. Sterling got right behind me. Old car got the wagging the tail, and you know, I just couldn't give her full throttle. And Sterling had a big hole when he come off there.
You got to feel good, though, about the way that race car feels. That thing was some kind of rocket ship.
Yeah, little car's running good. I figured if we could just run top 5 and not tear up anything, we could be okay for the end of the night.
All right, we're going to show get the screen up there. We're going to show what happens here. So describe it as you feel it.
I felt a whole lot of this. You didn't see it. He just, I left it too big a hole. And then right about there, it's decision time. So, okay, Sterling, it's yours. Let's start worrying about top 5.
At that point, did you just say, well, you know, I'm in the Winston, let's just hang on here. If I get a shot at him, I may take it, but what were you thinking?
Well, I knew we had a little bit of room on third there, so I wasn't going to put myself in a situation for the difference $9,000 between first and second of going home.
A lot more money at stake for Ken Schrader and Winston. Good luck. We'll let you go get ready. Let's go back up top to Mike.
Thanks, Glenn. That's a good general, a guy who he may give up the battle to win the war. We'll find out. Kenny Schrader's had a lot of success in this event. There you see some of the lighting systems around Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is dusk here in the Carolinas, though as you've been watching the on-track action, the lights have been on since we started tonight. Hardly able to tell the difference down on the racetrack, and this place will be jewel lit as darkness descends. One hot night continues live from Charlotte Motor Speedway.